All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another awesome session of Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants. My name is Joe Grabowski, and what we're all about here is bringing science, adventure, and conservation into classrooms around North America and around the world. So very excited for our Google Hangout from Istanbul today with Super Cycling Man. You want to give a little wave? Morning, Will. Afternoon for you, I guess. All right.
Evening. 6 o'clock here.
All right. So I'm going to give a quick intro to our classrooms, and then Will is going to take over. First class we have joining us, it's actually two grade 1 classes, Mrs. McFull and Miss Smith's first grade classes in New York. If you guys want to turn your mic on and say hi.
Or could we go for merhaba, which is hello in Turkish? Go on, merhaba. 3, 2, 1. Merhaba! Whoa, that was really good. Better than me.
Pretty good. All right. We have a 4th grade class from Nebraska joining us. Mrs. Yvonne's class. You guys want to turn your mic on and say hi?
Hi! Whoa. Now let's see if you guys can say hello in Turkish. Can you go merhaba? 3, 2, 1. Merhaba! Whoa, that was really good. You're fluent in Turkish already.
All right, and our final class joining us this morning is Mrs. Cuffey's grade 6s from South Carolina. You want to turn your mic on and say hi?
Say hi.
Hi! Come on, you guys. I'm going to teach you a bit of Turkish tonight because I'm in Turkey. Can you say merhaba, which is hello in Turkish? 3, 2, 1. Merhaba! Oh, like a real Turkish person. You're fluent.
Pretty good, pretty good. So, quick introduction for Super Cycling Man. We're super excited to have you today. So, Will, you'll be spending the next 5 years cycling across all 7 continents, and you're doing it the whole way in your superhero outfit to raise some money for some pretty cool charities in the UK and around the world. You've just finished Europe and your little R&R in Turkey before you launch onto the next leg. So that's enough for me. I'm going to let you take over because you've got the good stuff today.
All right. How long have we got, Joe, again? Is it half an hour or a full hour?
Yeah, let's aim to go till 10:45 today. So we've got about another 40 or so minutes.
Okay. I'm hoping the Turkish internet sticks with us.
And I forgot,
first of all,
before you go, to introduce the grade 8s joining me on my end. So this is Mrs. Newell's grade 8 class. Say hi, guys.
Okay.
Oh,
beautiful. Beautiful, like a real Turkish person. Merhaba. First of all, I just want to say a big, super big even, thank you for joining me on my first ever Explore by the Seat of Your Pants Google Hangout. So thank you very much. And bear with me because there's all kinds of funky things that this Google Hangouts area can do, and I'm learning. So bear with me is all I can say. Okay, so Joe did a really good job of introducing me. I am Will Hodson, and I have a ridiculous superhero alter ego of, you can read my chest, go on. Come on, a bit louder than that, guys.
Better than that.
Super Cycling. And I like to think, if you pick up just one thing from this 30, 40 minutes we've got together, it's the message that we can all be heroes. And it doesn't mean flying up high in the sky or lifting up a car. I can't do that. This is just a ridiculous costume from a fancy dress store. But we'll talk about how we can all be heroes later on. But before I go any further, can we say merhaba to this guy, Dave? Does anybody know why on earth I'm carrying a toy worm with me around the world? He's cycling 100, well, he's not cycling, he's just sitting in a bag. But he's coming 100,000 kilometers around the world with me. Does anyone know why a grown-up man from England is carrying a toy worm around with me?
Have a guess? Turn your mic on, classes, if you want to take a guess.
Yeah, have a guess. And how can I take answers from the different schools, Joe? Just
your microphone.
I can't control the mics today, Will. Google Hangouts is being funny, so
okay. All right.
ask the question, I'll ask the class to turn on.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Why on earth am I carrying a worm with me?
Okay, let's give the grade 1 to New York a chance to guess. Why is he carrying a worm, do you think?
Stand in the middle until you guess. Yeah.
I'm all in.
You're stuck. Really loud. What do you think?
Because you don't want to be alone?
That is such a good answer. I'm gonna get. Who is that?
Oh, yeah.
What was
Olivia.
her name?
That was Olivia.
I'm gonna give you a high five all the way from Turkey for that answer, Olivia. That was awesome. Yeah, sometimes he doesn't talk too much, but yeah, it's nice to have a mascot with me sometimes if I'm lonely. But so far I'm not too lonely. I'm meeting lots of nice people on the way. Anyone else got another answer? We'll have one more go maybe. Why on earth I'm carrying a bendy toy worm with me
Teachers
around the world?
from Live Touch is coming in now to collect
Sorry,
the
Will, just
photos
an
of
announcement.
the orders. Could you please double check with the students if you have any
How about our class in South Carolina? Do you have a guess why Will's carrying a worm with him?
Yeah.
It's your sidekick.
Yeah, well, every good superhero should have a sidekick. So Dave the Worm is my kind of sidekick, but there's a bit more to him than that. He's actually the mascot for a charity called Parkinson's UK, and Parkinson's it's a disease that my dad has had for 20 years, unfortunately. But thanks to a charity called Parkinson's, they're trying to find a cure for Parkinson's to help people who have Parkinson's get better. So I've had to pay about, I'm going to say $8 a month to adopt Dave the Worm, and all that money goes to, guess who?
Parkinson's.
Parkinson's UK, yeah, to help find a cure. So loads of my photos and videos are featuring Dave because he's kind of the real hero, and the Parkinson's UK charity are the real hero of this ridiculous story around the world. And by the way, you can buy your own Dave the Worm if you want to on the Parkinson's UK website. He's very cool. Anyway, before Dave steals all the limelight, back to me, I've prepared a few photos. Would you like to see them?
Yes.
You're going to have to do better than that, especially that guy in the front. He sounded so bored. Do you want to see the photos?
Yeah!
All
So,
right,
Will,
so we can see. Yeah.
Will and the other classrooms joining, I've locked it on your screen, so if the other classrooms want to turn their microphones on, they can do that now because it's locked on your screen, so they can turn their mics on.
Okay, great. All right. So let's see if I can share my screen to share some photographs. Desktop. Oh, that looks good. Start screen share. Let's go for that. All right.
We see it.
Cool. All right. So this is my plan for how I'm going to spend the next 5 years of my life. Cycling all the way around the world. I didn't want to leave a single continent out. So I'm going right the way across. You can call out the continents if you know them. It's time for a quiz. This is the continent called Europe. Europe, hooray. Then the next one's going to be Asia. Oh, you guys are good at geography. Then the next one's going to be Australia. Too good, too good. Then the next one's North America. I thought you'd get that one right. And then the next one's going to be South. A quick flight over to a big continent called Africa. And then I'm going to go home, get a big thermal warm Superman suit on for the last continent, which is a bit chilly, called Antarctica. Woo! Do you reckon I can do it? Do you reckon I can do it? That's not loud enough. Do you reckon I can get the whole way around the world with Dave? I hope so. No one has ever done it before. there's been some amazing things done, like people have cycled around the world a different way, but no one has ever cycled across all 7 continents before. So, yeah, I really hope we can do it. And here's a little bit more about me, if I can find the right button. There's Dave. Okay. Oh, come on. Can I go down to show that slideshow? Sorry, Joe. I'm trying to find share button.
It's right on the left, and it's the green one with the arrow on the left.
Okay. Okay, we're back.
We're back.
We're back. This is a picture of. I used to be a teacher. I think teachers are heroes too. Let's give a big cheer for the teachers who are with us tonight or this morning. Can we have a cheer for the teachers who are heroes? This is a school I used to teach at in London. I used to teach a class of year 1s. They were 5 years old. But my big dream was really to cycle around the world. And there are 3 big reasons why I'm doing this. I'm doing it to raise a lot of money for those charities at the bottom, including the charity that Dave is the representative of. He's with what charity? Parkinson. Which charity is Dave representing?
UK.
Yeah, that guy, he sounds like he's falling asleep. I'm doing this big world cycle to encourage you to get on your bikes and have fun on your bikes. And we can call out together. There's a big message behind this bike ride that we can all be heroes. Should we go for that really nice and loud? 3, 2, 1.
We can all be heroes.
Nice, nice. So that's a bit about me. That's a bit about this this bike ride. I'm hoping I can stop sharing that screen now. Okay, I'm back. All right, we're back. We're back in the room. So that's a little bit about my bike ride. Before we do some cycling ourselves, should we have some questions? Is it too early for questions?
No, we can share some questions before you share some pictures.
Okay.
Good. Okay, let's start off with our grade 4s in Nebraska. Do you guys want to start with a couple quick questions?
Okay, here we go, Nebraska. Hello, Nebraska. Hi. Hi, what's your name?
My name's Amy, and
Hi, Amy.
when and where are you stopping in America?
When am I coming to America? Are you the west side or the east side of America? Big old continent.
Oh, the Midwest.
We're in the west. Okay, I'm gonna fly from New Zealand to Alaska, and then come down to near Los Angeles, and then wiggle, like Dave would, wiggle my way all the way across to New York. I think it's going to take about 2 years to get there from now. So I'll see you, Amy, in 2 years, okay? So how old will you be then in 2 years?
Sixth grade.
She'll be in which grade?
Six.
6. Okay, I'll see you when you're 2 years older, okay?
Okay, just a quick pause.
All right.
Before we take the next question from our grade 4s, can we get the other classrooms just to turn their mics off, because we are getting a little bit of feedback, and I think that's making it a little tough to hear. So when it's your turn for the questions, we'll get the mics back on. So let's grab one more from Mrs. Yvonne's class.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Jay, and how are you going to make it to Antarctica?
How am I going to cycle across Antarctica?
Yes.
Was that your question?
Yes.
Super good question. What was your name again?
Jaden.
Jaden. Hey, Jaden. Well, you know what? There's an amazing woman called Maria Leijestrom. Look her, Google her if you want to. She won a bike race against two guys about 2 or 3 years ago to the South Pole. So she didn't quite cross the whole way across Antarctica, but she won that bike race, and she pretty well cycled the whole length of the continent. So people have done it, and there's an amazing woman called Kate Leeming from Australia who's trying to cycle across Antarctica this Christmas. So I always think if someone's done it or they've got close to doing it, why can't I? Why can't you? What would you like to do when you're older, Jaden? What's your dream? Would you like to go to the moon? Would you like to swim an ocean?
I want to go to the moon.
You'd like to go to the moon?
Yeah.
All right, good luck. People have done it before. Why not you, Jaden? Let's have a virtual handshake. All right, good luck with that. I want to see you in 20 years on the moon, or maybe on Mars.
All right, thank you.
All right.
No worries. Good question.
Questions from our grade 1. You guys want to turn your mic on?
Stand up.
Wow, there are lots of children in this class.
We have two
Wow.
classes of first graders.
Wow. And are you guys in New York?
Yes.
All right. I think I'll see you a little bit later than the guys on the west side of America. So maybe I'll see you in about 2.5 or 3 years. So what grade will you be in then?
4th grade.
4th grade. Woo. All right. I'll see you all when you're 3 years older. Who's this guy? Who's this guy? What's your name?
Nice and loud. James. That's James.
James.
Yes, James.
Oh, good name. That's my middle name. Good name, James.
What's your question, honey? Your question, James.
You have a suitcase with you?
Do you carry a suitcase with you?
James, that is an awesome question. Really good question. I don't have like a hard. Sorry, Dave. I don't have a hard suitcase, but I've got on my super bike here behind me. I have 3 bags on the front. They're kind of waterproof, soft bags called panniers. Should we say panniers and learn new words? Should we say panniers?
Panniers.
Pannier. I think it's a French word, pannier. And then on the back of my bike, I've got 3 more. So how good are you at maths? I've got 3 plus 3 makes?
6.
Yeah. So I've got everything I need in my life squashed into 6 small bags hanging off my bike. I've got a tent so I can sleep anywhere. I've got some clothes, obviously. I'm going to buy a stove so I can cook some food. It's basically like a house on 2 wheels.
That's cool.
When do you change your clothes?
James would like to know when you change your clothes.
I thought he said that. James, that's a hilarious question. Not as often as I should do, James. So, I think I'm on about maybe I have 2 superhero costumes, you'll be glad to hear, and they're on a rotation basis. So maybe they last for about 5 days, 6 days, as long as I don't get too wet. Because if it rains, like in Greece, about 2 weeks ago, it rained, just non-stop for 3 days. And I had to wash my clothes, probably like every day there, because they were just smelly and wet. And the short answer is they last about 5 or 6 days normally. Longer than they would in the UK, but your hygiene standards go down when you start an adventure like this.
Say thank you.
Thank you.
Good question, James. Very funny.
Can we ask another one, or are we going to another school?
Ooh. What do you think, Joe?
Sure, let's try one more, and then we'll go to the next school.
Okay. All right.
Oh, all right. Okay, stand there. Nice and loud. What's your name?
My name is Sierra.
Hi, Sierra, from me and Dave.
Where do you sleep? Where do you sleep and eat?
Wow, you guys are you sure you're in grade 1? Is this grade 5? Good questions.
First grade.
So,
First.
oh, feels like the 5th to me. It's a mixture of sleeping in a tent, just in forests and fields, wherever I could. I slept on a beach one night, which was really nice to wake up with the sound of waves coming in. But a lot of the time, I'm just, right now actually in Istanbul in Turkey, I'm staying in a total stranger's house. He sells carpets in Istanbul. He's a guy called Hakan. Big up to Hakan. I met him on a ferry about a week ago, and he just said, hey, you know, I think what you're doing is amazing. If you need some help, give me a call, and you know, if you want to stay at my house, stay at my house. Was that really nice of Hakan to just let me stay in his house?
Yes.
It's people like that who are making this trip so amazing, and he's behind the idea that we can all be heroes. Like what Hakan is a real hero to me for helping me out, because otherwise I don't know where I'd be sleeping in Istanbul. Yeah, being helpful and being kind is behind the message of being a hero, really, and we can all do stuff like that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good question, miss.
Great questions from the grade 1s. If you don't mind muting your mic for me, we're going to visit South Carolina, and we're going to grab some questions from our grade 6s with Mrs.
Oh, South Carolina sounds. South Carolina. You again with the the sidekick. What does that say on your T-shirt as well?
Death to life.
Oh my god. Don't worry about it. Ask a question.
What does
We'll ignore that. Move on.
What does the disease do to your body?
What does Parkinson's disease do to your body?
Yes.
Wow, I've never been asked about the disease or the work of the charity before. What's your name?
Annika.
Nicola, good question. You're a smart cookie. It's probably best if you asked my are we gone? It's probably best if we I think they've gone. We've
still
lost
here.
one. Okay. I think it would be best if you asked my dad about what happens when you have Parkinson's, because he's had it himself for 20 years. I've just seen him like coping with it amazingly, and my mother coping with it amazingly over 20 years too. So just slowly, he's just started to sometimes lose his balance. So he might fall over sometimes in the garden, and sometimes if he's not careful, he might smack his head and hurt himself. Not everyone gets it in the same way. Some people start to shake and they can't control their hands. So can you imagine how annoying that would be if you want to write something and your hands are just uncontrollably shaking? So the way my parents deal with it, not just my dad but my mum as well, they are really inspirational to me, because I get annoyed when I have a cold. Something a lot smaller than falling over when you just don't want to. So yeah, I think those are the basics. Loss of balance. Sometimes you get the shakes, but my dad doesn't have the shakes. And thankfully, things are being sort of kept as good as they can by some amazing medicine and drugs that like the Parkinson's UK produce. So yeah, thankfully things are a bit better than they might be, thanks to some good medication.
All right, that was a great question. Let's grab one more.
It was. Yeah. Does Nicola like science?
Yes.
Wow. Or There might be someone within your classroom who could one day find a cure for Parkinson's or some amazingly like complicated diseases. So, you know, it could be you. It could be you guys.
What is your main diet as a biker?
I missed the key word. Sorry. What's my main?
What's your main diet as a biker?
Oh, okay. What was your name? Sorry. I always like
Rachel.
names. Hey, Rachel. I think I eat a lot of carbohydrate, which are good long-term energy. So I eat a lot of bread. Bread sandwiches seem to be as my staple diet of it's kind of cheap and good energy. So bread, cheese for a bit of fat, and meat for a bit of protein. That seems to be my go-to food. Lots of nuts because they're good long-term energy as well. Fruit. I eat lots of bananas and apples. So a good mixture of those kind of foods. Out here in Turkey, they eat a lot of meat, lots of kebabs, and a thing called pide, which is like a pizza but with ground up some minced beef on it. So it's pretty nice. But basically, I eat anything I can. So I'm burning, if I'm cycling all day, like some days I might be on my bike as long as you guys are at school, maybe longer, I might be burning 6,000, 7,000 calories. So basically, I can eat almost whatever I want because I'm always going to be kind of negative with the amount of calories I'm burning and the amount I'm adding into my body.
All right, great question. Let's grab maybe one or two from my end, and then maybe you can share a few pictures from the journey so far. Will, does that sound good?
Sure, yeah.
All right. Getting hydrated, good idea. Josh, come on up, buddy.
Who's this guy?
This is Josh coming up.
This is a super dark classroom.
Yeah, they
Darker
wanted
than
me
my
up to see you nice and clear.
Okay. Is this Josh?
Yeah.
Hey, Josh. Let's high five over the internet. 3, 2. All right. Nice.
Are you bringing cologne or deodorant with you? What? From the
So many questions.
James from New York, I think.
Uh-huh.
Said, are you gonna change your clothes, or how do you change your clothes? And you said not as much as you could be. So I suggest if you're gonna go to places without changing your clothes, on a daily basis, I suggest you bring cologne or deodorant.
Is this a question or an instruction?
I think it's a little bit of both, maybe.
Either one.
It's a bit of okay. No, on a first bike ride I did from London to Istanbul 4 years ago when I was just practicing for this round the world ride. I didn't even have enough space for a small can of deodorant. My bags were just full to bursting point. So I didn't have any deodorant for a month. Can you imagine that? And then I got on a plane home, and when I saw my sister at the airport, the first thing she said to me was not, "Oh, well done, Will. You know, you just cycled across the continent." She just said, "Oh, Will, you stink." That was the first thing she said to me. I've packed. You'll be glad to hear. I've packed a can of deodorant this time in my bags.
All right.
So I'm okay. And if I ever come to visit, schools, I put my freshest clothes on possible and make sure I've got some deodorant. I want to encourage people to cycle, not put them off by smelling worse than the inside of an old pair of socks.
All right. Because if you ever come to Guelph, I have deodorant that's like this big.
Okay, let's shake on that. I want to see you to pick up this can of deodorant.
All right. Come on up, Mary.
Anyone got any questions not about personal hygiene?
I think so.
What's your name?
Mary.
Hi, Mary.
Hi. What are you planning to do after you finish your bike across the continent?
Ooh, wow. We know that's so far in the future. That's 5 years ahead, and sometimes I don't even know what's going to happen, like the next day. So I really just like to just enjoy the moment and enjoy whatever happens to me as it comes. But my rough idea is to go back to maybe the UK, where I was teaching, and do be a part-time teacher again. But I would love to write a series of children's books, maybe about the adventures of Super Cycling Man and Dave. And who knows, they might be an interesting set of children's books. And I'd quite like the idea of teaching cycling skills to children as well. So I quite like the idea of maybe not just one job, but three part-time jobs, because I've realized slowly that one job isn't just enough for my brain. I like to do lots of different things, so I like the idea of 3 different jobs. Do you know what you want to be when you're older, or is that a long way off?
Maybe a teacher or psychologist.
Wow. Okay. Good luck with that. You've got a good teacher in the room with you to learn from. So, yeah, learn from Mr. Grub. Am I saying your name right, Mr. Grabowski?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So, Will,
Good question.
I'm a little bit disappointed. I was sure you were going to say cycle the moon, but I guess those other things are pretty good too. So.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows what will be possible?
All right. Well, do you wanna... Oh, sorry. Do you want to share? Now that we've taken a few questions, do you want to share some of your pictures?
Yeah, I haven't got too many. I was really interested in getting you guys on your feet and doing some pedaling with me. Would you like to do something active and get on your feet? Because some guy there looks like he's about to fall asleep with his arms folded. Look at him.
There?
Come on. Yeah.
All right.
School's a fun, exciting place to be. So I think, should we get on our feet in a moment?
Sure. Yeah, let's see.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna talk you through what it's been like cycling across Europe so far, and I want you to actually cycle with me. So I'm gonna take my headphones off.
Great.
I can still hear you just about, I hope.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. And I'm gonna tilt this over here. And I want, okay, so I'm going to show you guys what where I've cycled so far, and one of the best gadgets I've got with me is a GPS tracker, and it shows exactly where I am in the world. Every 10 minutes, it sends a clever little signal to a satellite, and it plots it on a map. Here's where I've been so far in Europe. Hopefully. Where's that share button? Here we go. Okay, so back at the end of May, I left. Does anybody know what this bridge is here in London? It's called. This one's Tower Bridge. I hope you said that. So at the end of May, I left Tower Bridge with about 50 people. Some of them were dressed in superhero costumes. This guy's really getting into it. I like him a lot. And then I wiggled all the way across 14 countries, like you can see, 8,000 kilometers and 4.5 months of pedaling, wiggling through 14 countries. Until I'm right here now in Istanbul, and I finished. Does anyone know what the river's called in Istanbul? You go straight to the top of the class if you know this.
Does anybody know? What? River in Istanbul.
Begins with a B.
Nothing on the grade
Right,
A.
I'm going to leave that one with you. So I finished my continent not by the beautiful Blue Mosque, where most people finish cycling in Istanbul, but I finished it when I touched the Bosphorus, because my challenge is to cycle right the way across, from coast to coast, of all the 7 continents. I'd like to do some cycling. Are you ready to get on your feet and doing something active?
Okay. You heard him, classes. Right. Get up onto your feet.
All right, on your feet.
Come
on your feet. All right. I want you to pretend you. Oh yeah, everyone, even New York. Yes. I want you to get on your own invisible bike. All right. Get on that bike. Don't get on the side where the chain is. Get on the clean side, okay? To get on that bike, I'm on mine. Can everyone put their helmet on as well? Get your helmets on. All right. So we can practice. Can we pedal? Can we pedal slowly? Here we go. Go on. We're going to pedal slowly.
All right, start pedaling.
Then we're going to go fast downhill. How fast can you pedal, guys? Go on, fast. And then slow it down, really slow. Okay, that was really good. Okay, stop. So I'm going to give you some instructions. You might go like a medium speed, slow if we go uphill, and then super fast downhill. Okay? All right, here we go. I hope you're still moving on your feet. Okay, so my story so far has been I left London and I went pedaling slowly. Can you go slowly pedaling? Well done if you're pedaling steadily. So I cycled down to France. I cycled through Belgium. Keep moving your feet. I cycled through the Netherlands. I cycled through Germany. I then cycled through Switzerland. And then we're going to go up a massive hill. So slow it down, up a hill. It's pretty heavy. Then we went through, after Switzerland, we had the Alps of France. Then we went through Austria slowly. And then a little bit faster. We went through Slovakia and Hungary. And then Serbia and Macedonia. And then we went super fast down to the sea. Go as fast as you can. Super fast. Down to Greece. And finally Turkey. All right. Give yourselves a round of applause. And have a rest. Well done. You've just cycled Europe. Whew. I'm just tired. I'm tired just talking that through.
That was intense.
Have a drink. I hope you were pedaling too, Joe.
Oh, absolutely. Well, a little pedaling, a little switching between classrooms. I wanted them all on screen.
Yeah. So have a rest. Give yourself a pat on the back. You can sit down now. You've just cycled the whole way across 14 countries to Istanbul. I've got a couple of photos.
Sure.
I will get used to this eventually. So, like, I've seen some beautiful places, the mountains in the Dolomites in Italy, some beautiful lakes. But for me, it's the people that are making this trip unforgettable. People like Hakan, the man in Turkey who's giving me his flat. This guy here, he's a bit of a Belgian pop star. And he said I could stay at his house one night in Bruges. He is a real hero, and he's another one of these people who are behind this "we can all be heroes" idea of just being kind and helpful. So I had absolutely nowhere to sleep in Bruges. Was it nice of this guy to give me a place to stay in Brussels? In Bruges, sorry.
Absolutely.
That is super kind. This guy in the middle is a guy called Felix Leckie. He's only 11 years old, but I met him in Austria. He was spending his summer holidays cycling all the way from Slovenia back to the UK, aged 11. So I thought he was an utterly inspirational boy, young man. And it's the people who make this trip. And if ever I feel tired, I just think, come on, if an 11-year-old boy can cycle thousands of kilometers, he was sleeping in hay barns all the way back to the UK and raising money for charity too. He's an amazing guy, Felix Leckie. So he's also like someone who embodies like a hero for me. Like he had a dream of cycling far, and he just did it, aged 11. Some people can't do that when they're way older than that. So hats off to Felix Lecky. And this was a wonderful French family, and these two French, they're two French girls, said, "Oh, Super Cycling Man will be tired when he comes to Paris. This is in the first week of cycling. He can have our double bunk bed, and we will go and sleep on the sofa in the sitting room." Was that nice that they gave me their own bedroom?
Pretty cool.
It's pretty nice, and it's people like that who really make this trip super fun to be on. And sometimes I say thank you by giving people like that who help me out a funky Super Cycling Man bracelet with the message "We can all be heroes" on. But I can't take all the credit for this idea that we can all be heroes. It actually came from a children's book. I definitely think the grade 1s would love it, but I think anyone can get something out of this book. It's called Max by Bob Graham, and it's a super book, and basically it's all about the kind of everyday small acts of kindness or heroic acts that really can change people's days or lives. So yeah, check out that book. I think you might like it. Just before we zoom off, I've got a few questions for you guys to maybe think about, like over the coming, maybe later on today or when you go home. I want you to think about what you're good at, what's your talent. I decided that cycling was mine, and everyone is good at something. Like the girl said that she was good at science. Maybe she's a future award-winning scientist and could win the Nobel Prize for something. I want to maybe think about what's your dream. So that guy wants to go to the moon, and I really hope he makes that happen if he works hard. And the last one is, what small heroic acts of kindness could you do today? And I got quite excited about that idea that every day you could be a hero. You could just open a door for someone. You could buy someone a drink, or you could just help your friend if they've fallen over in the playground, or say thanks for a really interesting lesson, Mr. Grabowski. And you could make someone's day just by small things like that. It does make a huge difference. So yeah, think about what small things you could do each day. Do you want to speak to a real-life Turkish person?
Sure, we'll say hi.
2 people. This is not Hakan. This is Oxen. Should we say merhaba Oxen? And we've got another person called Murat. Should we say merhaba Murat?
Merhaba Murat.
Murat speaks a bit of English. Oxen speaks a bit of French because he spent a lot of time in his life in France. So yeah, languages. Who likes languages?
Hands up. Do you like languages?
Yeah.
They are they're so important because I need to be able to communicate in shops and order food and ask for drinks. So keep learning languages, even if it's just please, thank you, or hello. So it's yeah, keep learning languages.
All right. Well, Will, that was phenomenal today. We should get ready to sign off just because classes are going to have to switch. But I do want to just share with teachers that I'm going to pass on some information to you with some activities that you can do afterwards and then send to Will so he can see them along the way. So I'm going to make a sheet and pass it on that with a map of the world. You can pick your own journey around the world and then share your story with Will. We're also going to share a sheet called Morph Your Bike. So if you could turn your bike into anything, what would it be and why? And then draw the picture and write a story. You can send those into Will. So I'm going to pass those sheets on to your teachers so you can do some of those activities.
Hopefully it's on the screen now. Is that right, Joe?
Yep.
So that's what it looks like. And you can win an amazing comic. If yours is the best entry from your school, you'll win a comic book. If you decide to change your bike into something really funky. And just, maybe your school could stick pins in a map like this school's done with the display here. And you just use my website to do that. It's really simple. And hopefully it'll be a lot of fun coming around the world over the next few years.
All right. Well, awesome, Will. Great connecting. And I know you're heading off on the next part of your journey soon. Let's have all the classes turn their mics on so they can say a big thank you and a big boost you on your way.
Should we get a goodbye from the real Turkish people?
You have to say it out loud.
Mira.
Oh, hold on, here they come to say goodbye.
In Turkish, to say goodbye, you say Hoşçakalın. Or the güle güle. Should we say güle güle? Güle güle. All right, thank you for joining me, and maybe I'll.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll catch
See
up
you on the
with
next one.